But I'm here today to tell you how to pick a puppy, how to add an adorable little monster to your home. There's none of these puppies that isn't going to be a good puppy, but which is the one that's the right one for you? Now, do not believe the idea that your babies, that the puppy that runs up to you is the one that's karmically supposed to be your baby. This must be the one because everyone else is sleeping. Not necessarily. This one just happens to be awake. Now, if you go to see a bunch of puppies and they're all asleep, you could think, what's wrong with these puppies? Aren't puppies supposed to be lively and full of energy? Yeah, they do that for 10 minutes and then they crash. What you want to do is wake them up. Hello, puppies! Hello, puppies! And you see that? Magic. Oh, the little puppies, wake up! Puppies should be curious. They should be interested in everything going on in the world around them. Now, this little guy, I'd have to ask the breeder. Maybe he had his shots recently and he's feeling a little under the weather. Maybe he's always a couch potato. If I wanted to hang with a dog that was going to sit under my desk all day, that might be the right dog for me. Now, this little critter can't stop playing with me. For me personally, my personality, this would be a dog I'd want, because I want a dog that wants to do stuff with me all the time, even if it's only just to talk to me. Now, you see how I have her in a really funny position, her little legs hanging over like this? That's a little insecure. This puppy's really trusting. She's not scared. She's not panicking. That's not because I'm fabulous. It's because the breeder has gotten this puppy used to all kinds of situations and conditions. Now, a lot of people have heard about puppy personality tests, as though you could test a puppy's personality and know everything about a little 7 or 8 week old puppy just from some little test you do. It doesn't really work. What it does is gives you a chance to hold each puppy and have a feeling about each puppy. So one of the tests they say to do is you lift the puppy off the ground, and if the puppy accepts it, it means it's a good puppy, and if the puppy struggles, it's a bad puppy. That's not the case. They say flip the puppy over, hold the puppy down. All puppies like to be held down. It's fun. They just like to interact with people. A puppy who's been well socialized likes you to do stuff with them. It doesn't matter what you do. It's all good. So what it really boils down to is, what is your energy level? What is your lifestyle? Do you sit at your computer 8 hours a day and would love to have a golden at your feet? Then one of these sleeping puppies might be the better bet. If you want to be up and at 'em and you have 3 kids and they want to play all day, then you want to pick a puppy that's a zoomy puppy. Everything else will fall into place once that puppy joins your life. Enjoy yourselves. Good luck.
Are you thinking of getting a dog? Bringing a new dog into your home is a big responsibility. You'll need to take the time to train and socialize your dog, as well as be prepared for the financial commitment that goes with pet ownership. Your dog will need food, supplies, veterinary care, and more. Remember, he'll depend on you for his health and well-being, so be sure you're ready for a dog before you start the process. No surprise puppies. Make sure everyone in your household is on board with getting a puppy. Too often, puppies are given up if the family isn't ready for the commitment that puppies require. Once you've thought through the commitments and responsibilities associated with dog ownership, the next step is to figure out what type of dog is right for you and your family. Today, we're going to discuss a variety of things you should think about before choosing your dog. What type of family do you have? Do you have kids or other pets? What size of dog works best for your family? Do you know how much cleaning and grooming time you can commit to? How much time do you have for training your new pup? What energy level is a good fit for your home? Is barking something to consider? What kind of temperament is right for your family? We all know how cute puppies and dogs are, and it can be hard to resist when you go to pick them out. Remember, they'll have an easier transition into your home if you think about the best type of dog for you. Consider the following aspects to help you choose the best dog for you and your family. Large dogs. Generally, they aren't suitable for apartment dwellers. They need a bit more space to move around, mostly for their long tails that need wagging space. They tend to be more expensive, more dog food, supplies, and medical treatment. Small dogs. They are more delicate and vulnerable. Being stepped on or mishandled can cause serious injury. Also, little dogs can be more sensitive to colder temperatures, so be ready to keep them warm. They're generally less expensive to maintain. How much cleaning up can you commit to? Long-coated and double-coated dogs shed, and shed some more, leaving tufts of hair to float about the house and land everywhere. How much time are you willing to spend brushing or grooming? Make sure to consider the cost. A monthly grooming service can really add up over the years. If you lack time and patience to deal with a dog that's difficult to train, then an older dog from a rescue may fit your bill, as well as a pup of a breed that is traditionally easier to train. Intelligence is not necessarily an indicator of trainability. Smart dogs often have their own agenda and require consistency on the part of their owners. Dogs with a willingness to work and a desire to please you often turn out to be the best companions. I recommend hiring a dog trainer to perform a few tests to help determine if the dog is a good fit for you. As a rule, terriers, hounds, and northern dogs are tough to train because of their intelligence and independent natures, while sporting and herding dogs are easier to train. The sharpest working obedience breeds are Golden Retrievers, Labrador Retrievers, Border Collies, German Shepherds, and Shetland Sheepdogs, breeds that develop closely with humans. Some dogs enjoy lounging at your feet to sleep the day away, while others are very energetic and ready to run a marathon right alongside you. Cute as they are, Basset Hounds, Dachshunds, and Corgis are not jogging companions, and Airedales, German Shepherds, and Border Collies are not typical couch potatoes. All dogs need some exercise to stay healthy. Most adult dogs will not exercise themselves, so time for walks and other activities is important. Some dogs bark, a lot, and the amount can vary by breed. Terriers and scent hounds use their voices to broadcast their progress in chasing prey. Shelties and collies bark to tell the sheep to get back to the barn. Cannon dogs bark to alert their families of potential intruders. Many dogs will bark if they're bored, so owners should also be sure to assess their own time and ability for training, walking, and play times, and should properly confine the dog when they can't otherwise keep it from disturbing the neighbors. There are some special collars available to deter barking dogs and training methods that can help in some cases, but if potential owners take the noise factor into considerations, problems are more likely to be minimized. Breed and temperament can be described, but there's room within that description for individuality. For example, Akitas are declared to be tough, loyal, aloof, dominant, aggressive to other animals, and often challenging. However, many Akitas are sweet and cuddly, love small critters, will climb in laps if allowed, and are anything but aloof and dominant. Terriers are scrappy, yappy, tough, and independent, but Airedale Terriers bond very closely to their humans and are somewhat protective. Hounds follow their eyes or noses and are often oblivious to human presence. Dachshunds bond closely with their families, and greyhounds and whippets are sweet, gentle pets. Because temperament isn't always easy to judge when meeting a new dog, I strongly recommend hiring or asking a professional dog trainer to come with you to evaluate temperament. They'll be able to assess a dog's personality, compare it with your wish list, and determine what dog is the best fit for you. If you can't arrange this, ask the people who've interacted with the dog the most about his temperament. Once you've thought about the commitments and have a good idea of what type of dog is the best fit for your family's lifestyle, check out your local animal shelter or animal rescue to see if a new addition is waiting there for you. Today we're going to talk about what to do when you bring home your new puppy. We'll cover everything from supplies and preparation steps to the car ride home, the first few days, how to introduce him or her to your family, and more. Before you bring your puppy home, prepare yourself with the following supplies. Premium puppy food to get your new puppy off to a good start, stainless steel non-tip food and water bowls, identification tags with your puppy's name and your contact information, a collar, and a leather or nylon 6-foot leash that's 1/2 to 3/4 inches wide, stain remover for accidents, brushes and combs suited to your puppy's coat, dog shampoo, toothbrush, and toothpaste. High-quality safe chew toys to ease teething, flea, tick, and parasite controls, nail clippers, a room or at least a place he can call his own, like a cage or a crate that will fit his adult size, and, of course, treats. Once you have the supplies, it's time to puppy-proof your home. Raising a puppy is a lot like raising small children. They get into everything. Some of what they get into can be hazardous to their health, so start preparing for your puppy's arrival long before the actual date. You'll thank yourself later. A helpful tip: get down on your hands and knees to view the world like your puppy will. It may help you to find things that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. Electrical wires, small objects hidden under couches and chairs that could be swallowed, or hiding spaces where a small pup could get stuck. There are sprays that can be applied to furniture legs, woodwork, and other immovable items to help deter your puppy from chewing on things you don't want him to chew on. Are there rooms your puppy should be restricted from entering until he's better trained and more reliable? If so, install a baby gate or keep the doors to those rooms closed until your puppy matures. Exercise pens are excellent for you when you're home but busy or unable to fully dedicate yourself to supervising your young pup. If you're about to make dinner, for example, rather than crating your dog or locking him in a puppy-proof room alone, set up an exercise pen in the kitchen with you. This will allow him to get used to being around your family's routines while also staying out of the way. It will also allow him to feel like he's part of the family. Once your house is ready, it's time to bring your new family member home. You want to do your best at keeping this from being an overly stressful experience for your puppy, so it may not be the best idea to bring the whole family, especially if you have excited young kids. Also, keep in mind that the vibration, sound, and the movements of your car can be very scary for a young pup and make them nervous. On the first trip home, it's okay to have a passenger hold your puppy in a soft blanket or towel on their lap. After the first trip home, you should begin using a crate to travel for both the dog and the other passenger's safety in the car. Try purchasing a dog seatbelt that's specifically designed to restrain and protect your companion in case of an accident. The ideal time to bring home a new puppy is when the house is quiet. Do your best to minimize the number of visitors stopping by the first few days so you can establish a daily routine by following these steps. Step 1. Before bringing him in the house, take him to the area in your yard that will serve as his potty and spend a few minutes there. If he goes, praise him. If not, proceed into the house, but be sure to take him to this spot each time he needs to go to the bathroom. Step 2. Take him to the room, which will serve as his new den, and if using one, set up his crate. Put bedding and chew toys in the room and let him investigate. If he chews or urinates on his bedding, permanently remove it. Understand that a young puppy is not like an adult dog. Treat him with patience and constant supervision. The way you interact with your puppy at this age is critical to his socialization. Use these tips. 1. You should spend a little extra time with your new puppy on his first day home, but you want to acclimate him to your regular routine quickly. If necessary, hire a dog walker or ask a neighbor to come take him out at regular intervals during this training period and going forward as your pup grows up. 2. Supervise your puppy at all times and interact with him regularly. 3. Be alert for signs, sniffing and circling, that he has to go to the bathroom, then take him out immediately. 4. Establish a routine. A young puppy has no bladder control and will need to urinate immediately after eating, drinking, sleeping, or playing. At night, he'll need to relieve himself at least every 3 hours. 5. Don't punish an accident. Never push his nose in the waste or scold him. He won't understand and may learn to go to the bathroom when you're out of sight. 6. Praise your puppy every time he goes to the bathroom outside. 7. Feed your puppy a formula designed for puppies. Like a baby, he needs nutritious, highly digestible food. 8. Have the contact info of your local veterinary office readily available in case of an emergency. For those with children, another extremely important part of bringing home your new puppy is making sure your kids know how and how not to handle a young dog. If your children are young or aren't familiar with how to handle puppies, you need to spend some time with them during these first few days explaining common sense rules on how to play with the puppy. For example, tell them that dogs have sensitive hearing, so it's important not to shriek or yell. Puppies in particular need a lot of rest, just like a growing child. Limit puppy children play sessions to 15 to 30-minute periods 2 to 3 times a day. You need to keep an eye on a puppy. An excited puppy can be strong when he jumps and play bites, which can be too rough for young children. Always supervise interaction and separate them if play is too rough. If you have other pets, you'll also need to spend some time getting them used to having each other around. At first, it's best to keep resident pets separated from your new puppy, but only for a few days. After that time, let pets smell and touch each other through a slightly open door. Do this several times over the next few days. After that, give the resident pet access to the den area with your new puppy. Supervise their meeting and go back to through-the-door meetings if trouble arises. Exercise pens can also help old and new pets get used to each other's presence in a restricted and safe manner. Lastly, what you'll need to do is get the puppy into a veterinarian for an initial puppy examination to make sure he's in perfect health.
One of the things that everybody with a new puppy wants to know is, how do I housebreak? It's really simple. You can housebreak any puppy in 24 hours. It's you who need to be housebroken, not the puppy. Every puppy has a little bladder. No matter what they do, they need to pee before and after they do it. So if they're sleeping, you pick them up and take them out to the same place every time so they can tinkle. Then you play with them a bit, always under your own supervision. Before you put them back in their crate or their pen, again you take them out to the same place to make another piddle. Same thing with before and after they eat. Same thing with before and after they do anything, when they play with each other or someone else. They can't go very long without peeing, so every time that they wake up or play or eat, give them a chance to pee before and after in the same place. Praise them, tell them hurry up, and you will have a housebroken puppy in 24 hours. Don't break the rules, and they won't break the rules.
House training your puppy requires more than a stack of old newspapers. It calls for patience, commitment, and above all, consistency. Hi, I'm Kathy Santo for Iams with Houdini, and today we're going to talk about how to house train your puppy. A trusting and consistent relationship is fundamental to successful house training. The more consistent you are, the faster your puppy will learn. House training a puppy can take several weeks and sometimes longer with smaller breeds. The first step to house training your puppy is to establish a routine. Puppies do best on a regular schedule because it teaches them that there are times to eat, times to play, and times to potty. As a general rule, a puppy can control his bladder about an hour for every month of age. So if your puppy is only 3 months old, he can probably only hold it for about 3 hours, if not less. Make sure to take him right out after he wakes up, during and after playtime, and after eating or drinking, because these are times he's most likely to have to go. If you work and are unable to take your puppy outside as often as needed, you could hire a dog walker to give your puppy his necessary breaks. I recommend picking a specific bathroom spot outside and always taking him there first when he's on a leash. While your puppy's going, say something like, "Go potty," so that you can eventually use that phrase to remind him what to do. You should take him out for a walk or playtime after he's gone potty, or he might just learn to hold it to keep you outside. Reward your puppy every time he goes potty outdoors with praise or a treat, but make sure to do so immediately before he goes back into the house. Rewarding correct behavior is the best way to teach your puppy. Be careful not to reward your puppy until he's completely finished, or he may forget to finish up outside and then have an accident inside. And remember, what goes into a puppy on a schedule comes out of a puppy on a schedule. So always take your puppy out after feeding. Try picking up your puppy's water dish about 2.5 hours before bedtime so he won't have as much water to try and hold overnight. If you keep a consistent schedule, your puppy could be house trained by the time he's 5 to 6 months old. But don't be discouraged if it takes your puppy longer or has an occasional accident. Many factors, including breed of dog, consistency, and temperament, can contribute to a longer training period. If you feel that there's little to no progress, consult with your veterinarian to be sure that a medical issue, such as a bladder infection, isn't the culprit. Supervision in the beginning is critical. Exercise pens are extremely helpful while house training. Keeping your puppy in a small space with an eyesight will allow you to notice and react when they start showing the signs of needing to eliminate. Those signs can be barking, scratching at the door, squatting, sniffing, or circling. If you're unable to monitor your puppy, you can confine him to an area small enough so that he won't want to eliminate there. A space just large enough for him to lay down with a couple extra inches is just fine. Many people choose to combine with a crate, which can be very helpful for house training your young dog. For more information on crate training, watch How to Crate Train Your Puppy. I'm Kathy Santo for Iams with Houdini, and I hope that you found this helpful as you welcome your new addition to your family. For more information on puppy care and training, visit iams.com/puppy. And today we're going to talk about how to crate train your puppy. We'll begin with a general discussion on the philosophy supporting the crate training method. We'll review what you'll need, the steps involved in the process itself, and some possible troubles you may encounter along the way. Before you begin crate training, it helps to understand the philosophy behind this method. If your dog is properly crate trained, he'll view his crate as a private room with a view, a safe haven he can call his own, and a quiet place he can relax in. He won't see it as a rigid structure of confinement and punishment. In fact, it'll be just the opposite. In nature, wild dogs seek out and use their den as a home where they can hide from danger, sleep, and raise their young. In your home, the crate becomes your puppy's den, an ideal spot to sleep and stay out of harm's way. And for you, the benefits of crate training are house training, because your puppy won't like to soil the area where he sleeps, limited access to the rest of the house where he learns the house rules, and transporting safely and easily in the car. Start crate training a few days after your puppy settles in. Before you can start crate training, you and your family members must understand that the crate can never be used for punishment. Never leave your young puppy under 6 months in his crate for more than 3 hours. He'll get bored, have to go to the bathroom, and won't understand why he's been left alone in discomfort. As your dog gets older, he can be crated for longer periods of time because his bladder isn't as small. But keep in mind, he still needs a healthy portion of exercise and attention daily. If you and your family are unable to accommodate your puppy's exercise, feeding, and bathroom needs, consider hiring a dog walker or asking a neighbor or friend for assistance. After that, the crate should be a place he goes into voluntarily with the door always open. There are a variety of crates available for purchase these days, each of which is designed for different lifestyle needs. When selecting a crate, you want to make sure it's just large enough for your puppy to be able to stand up, turn around, and lay down in comfortably. Because your puppy will grow quickly, I often recommend getting a crate that fits the size you expect your puppy to grow to, and simply block off the excess crate space so your dog can't eliminate at one end and retreat to the other. Now for the crate training process. The two most important things to remember while crate training are that it should be associated with something pleasant and take place in a series of small steps. The first step is to introduce your puppy to his crate. This will serve as his new den. Put bedding and chew toys in his crate and let him investigate his area. If he chews or urinates on his bedding, permanently remove it. Observe and interact with your puppy while he's acclimating to his crate. This will help forge a sense of pack and establish you as the pack leader. Encourage him to enter the crate with soft words and some treats. You can also pre-place some treats in the back corners and under the blankets to help make it a pleasant experience. Step 2 is to start feeding your puppy in his crate. Begin with the bowls near the opening of the crate. As your puppy becomes less reluctant to enter, slowly inch the food back every feeding until you're placing it all the way in the back. When you get to the point where your puppy happily enters the crate and stands in the back to eat, begin gently closing the crate door behind him while he's eating. At first, open the door immediately after he finishes, but after that, begin leaving the door closed a bit longer every time. If your puppy cries, you may have increased the time too fast, so decrease the length of it and then slowly begin increasing it again. When he does cry, do not let him out until he stops, or he'll always do this to get his way. Once your puppy is used to eating his meals and waiting to be let out with no anxiety or crying, you can start confining him longer when you're home. To do so, call him over with a treat and give it to him in his crate. Associating a command such as kennel is important so he understands the reward is a result of going in the crate. At first, you'll need to sit quietly next to him. If he's fine after 10 minutes, go into the other room for a bit, and then come back and let him out only if he is calm and not crying. If he is crying, you'll have to wait until he's calm. Once you can leave him for about 30 minutes at a time without him getting upset, you can start leaving him there longer. Eventually, decrease the amount of reward you give him for entering the crate so that saying the command word is sufficient. When you get home after being away for a long time, your puppy will likely be very excited to see you. It's important not to reward this behavior, or anticipating your arrival every day may be stressful for him. And lastly, make sure to crate your dog for short periods of time while you're home, or else he will associate crating with being left alone. I'm Kathy Santo for IAMS with Howdini, and I hope that you found this helpful as you welcome your new addition to your family. For more information on puppy care and training, visit iams.com/puppy.
Hi, my name is Dee Holt with Applause Your Paws in Miami, Florida. In this clip, I'm going to give you some tips on how to prevent your new puppy from biting both your hands, inappropriate objects, and your clothing. This is Meg and this is Beth. Beth is a very well-behaved puppy. Meg's a little bit more spunky, but there's going to be times that in that first 12 weeks of life that these little razor-sharp teeth are going to come into contact with your skin. And it gets to be very painful, especially around the 11th week. So it's important that we know how to deal with that. The best thing to do when a puppy is this close to you is we always want to encourage the puppies to lick our hand instead of bite. Now, Meg may not do it because she's being very calm right now. But should she accidentally take my hand in her mouth later down the line, I can make a sound that sounds like a puppy biting, kind of like, ow! And generally, a high-pitched sound like that, an abrupt sound, mimics, look at that face, mimics the sound of another puppy being hurt. So now you see she's wanting to kind of play with me. So again, if she takes me a little too rough in her mouth, I can make a sound like a yelping puppy, like, ow, ow, ow! And it's natural for her to pull back because that response is hardwired into her brain. And it's important that when they're little, we use those kind of techniques because it becomes less effective as the puppy gets older. But when they're little, we can play on the fact that they respond really well to knowing when they've hurt another animal. Another important thing in training your puppy not to bite inappropriate things is to always have an appropriate object present. So if your puppy is chewing on your shoelaces or on your hands or your clothing, it's really important that not only do you correct that behavior, but you offer an alternate behavior like an appropriate chew toy or maybe a tug toy, something like this, so that when your puppy begins to bite you, you can say, ouch, you're hurting me. But don't do that, do this instead. So just be patient because, again, puppies will be puppies, but if you stick to it, you shouldn't have any problem in training your puppy to bite appropriate objects.
And today we're going to talk about how to leash train your puppy. Once your puppy is around 8 weeks old, you can begin leash training. The first thing you'll need is a collar or harness that fits your puppy appropriately, never too loose or too tight. You should be able to fit 2 fingers between the collar and your puppy's neck. When deciding between using a collar or a harness, there are a few things to consider. Does your puppy have any respiratory issues? Does your puppy pull when being walked on leash? Use a harness or head halter if your puppy pulls on leash or has respiratory problems. Before you can jump right into training, you'll need to get your puppy used to wearing a collar and having the added weight of a leash. The best thing to do is have him wear the collar or harness and leash around the house so he becomes used to the feeling. Be sure to keep an eye on your puppy to make sure he doesn't get trapped, caught, or accidentally injured. If your puppy is noticeably struggling or looks scared, start off with a shoelace or a small piece of rope so he can get used to dragging only a little something around. This will help him get used to the added presence and weight of a collar and leash. Now for walking on a leash. The leash should have some slack because when you put pressure on a dog, their natural reflex is to move or pull in the opposite direction. If you find that your puppy is afraid of walking with the leash, try placing treats along the route you know you'll be walking to give him the notion that good times are ahead. That way he learns to focus on what's ahead of him with curiosity and not fear. As you begin walking your puppy, you will notice that your pace will sometimes have to be faster than you expect to retain slack in the leash. The more you work with your puppy, the quicker you'll be able to train him to slow down while maintaining the needed slack. As you walk around, begin incorporating specific commands for your puppy. Basic commands include sit, stay, and heel or let's go. Do your best to remain consistent with your commands and guide your puppy through the learning process. For example, when you say sit, guide your puppy to sit until the command is recognized by the puppy. When you say heel, make sure your puppy is obeying your command before you start walking again. When your puppy starts to move ahead too quickly, come to a complete stop and wait for him to cease pulling before going forward. Practice this stop and go, never allowing your puppy to dictate your pace. If your puppy continues to pull on his leash, ask him to change directions while saying turn. This will condition your puppy to always look for you for direction instead of him feeling like he can dictate where the two of you go next. I also like to run backwards and then switch to a different direction. This gets your puppy excited about chasing you. Remember to reward your puppy when he does the right thing so that he begins to understand what you're asking him for. If your puppy still isn't catching on, try upgrading your treats, practicing in an area with fewer distractions, or working on more basic commands. Leash training takes time and patience. Both you and your puppy may get frustrated during the learning process. Do your best to avoid tugging. It's not fair to correct them for something they don't understand. As your dog enters adolescence and clearly knows the difference between right and wrong, it's okay to give a slight occasional tug on his leash if he insists on being difficult. If you remain patient and consistent with your puppy, he'll be leash trained in no time. I'm Kathy Santo for IAMS with Howdini, and I hope that you found this helpful as you welcome your new addition to your family. For more information on puppy care and training, visit iams.com/puppy.